Today I want to talk about 3 tips that keeps my spiritual wellness at a high point. All of our spiritual wellness will dip and flow. I mean, look at the nation of Israel. How many times did they just come to a complete euphoric almost place and then dive right back down again? And God's grace, of course, just lifts us right up and puts us back in. So I thought, what are 3 tips that help me keep my spiritual wellness at a good balance, at a high place, in a sense, in a strong place? The first one is based on a word that I brought as we enter and have entered into this new era, that there were 2 keys the Lord showed me for my life that I began to just tell others, which is, the first was go low, and the second was follow the lead of the Spirit. So for me, going low is out of that James passage that says, humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he'll lift you up. Let him lift you up. That's the first place for me to go. Where am I in my heart? Am I willing to really be humble before the Lord? And I think if I can get there, if I can take that first step of saying, Lord, I'm going low, and in this season I would even say, go low and stay low. But it's that place of the reverence before God. Who is God? His majesty, his beauty, his grace, his love, his kindness, his goodness. But he is also fearsome. So he can take my life in a moment. There is a positive fear in knowing that through all of that, he continues to keep me and love me. That keeps me settling down into let's go low before the Lord. Because I know if I go low before him, if I'm humble in the sight of the Lord, I will naturally have a humility in my heart. So also if I'm going low, which is the second tip for me, is to listen. Now listening is twofold to me. It's listening to the Lord. When I go low, I tend to listen better because my heart, my spirit, my mind is open to receiving from the Father. Learning to be a good listener with others, whether it be my 10-year-old granddaughter, or whether it's my family in their 30s, or somebody in their 40s or 50s, somebody older than I am. It's listening, knowing that I get to ponder those, right? I'm not just going to take it all in and then just respond to it. I'm taking it in. I'm listening to do the third thing, to learn. That's the third. I can listen, but if I don't learn from it. So what am I learning? Well, that's where I get to ponder. I get to process that with the Father. I get to spend time in his presence. What out of that really do I need to take in at this moment? Because there are times I need to either set things aside, I need to put them on a back burner, as it were, and just let it simmer until God draws it forward into a hotter place. And some I just need to say, that's not for me. And I have to do that with the Lord. So it's go low, which causes me to listen. And in listening, it's not just enough to hear it. I have to somehow respond to it. I have to learn from it. And in learning, as I said, that could be I take it in and I learn from it in that moment, which means I have to humble myself. You see how I'm back on a cycle now? Now I'm back into that place. Because if somebody comes up to me who doesn't have the experience I've had, maybe yourself, they don't have the experience you've had. Just recently, I was in a fantastic conversation with my son-in-law. He's 35, 36 years old. I'm almost 69. He's saying things to me. He's going, Dad, and not in it, he wasn't being prideful or arrogant. He was just kind of bringing up some things about what he saw in me. And I could have kind of, knee-jerked reaction and internally and just kind of said, "Rawr, rawr, 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 rawr." But it wasn't presented that way, number one. And number two, it was really wise. And it really changed things for me. It made a huge difference in my life. No matter who we are and where we are in the process, somebody younger than us, we tend to kind of shut them down a little bit. And I think it's super important that we learn to go low, to listen, and then to learn. Remember, don't take everything. Ponder it with the Lord. Ponder those things you're receiving, pondering the things you're listening to, so you walk away with attaching onto the things that are going to cause you to be more into His presence. Put the things on the back burner that you're not sure about. Don't throw them away. But there are some things you just need to say, no, I'm not there. So, my 3 tips to helping me keep my spiritual wellness high. So, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.